Hi everyone. We would be discussing the first topic for your Operations 2 subject. This is Module 1 Introduction to Project Management with PERT CPM. So first off, let's start with our objectives. Objective is to understand the principles and application of project planning model in the problem-solving environment. So first off, let's define a project. So every one of us had encountered projects throughout their life, may it be school project or household project. Okay, so even in your previous classes, you have actually made projects. Okay, so a project is a series of activities directed to accomplish a desired objective. So you undergo step to attain a specific objective. Sample major event like wedding or any construction project. So when dealing with projects, normally we do project networks. Project networks are a flowchart that graphically depicts the sequence, interdependencies, and start and finish times of the project throughout a network. We'll know more about this project networks in the next discussions. Let's have a quick overview of project characteristics. So a project is a single unit, meaning it has a single output per project, okay? Many related activities. Sometimes it is needing different departments as well. Different production planning and inventory control. Sometimes, whenever you're doing a project, you tend to miss all the materials and then you're going to the nearest shop just to be able to continue your project, okay? Then general purpose equipment normally is what we're doing, or sometimes we have specific equipments that are made ready for the project and normally high labor skills. Benefits of creating a project network. So in creating a project network, it provides the basis for scheduling labor equipment. It enhances communication among the project participants in such a way that will be on track anytime. You can see the project schedule. Then provides an estimate of the project's duration. We can readily present our estimated time of completion to our project managers, and then provides a basis for budgeting cash flows, and then identifies activities that are not critical and critical. Example of projects are building construction, research project, okay, or your thesis is also part of your project. Management of project. So projects actually undergoes through this phases. So you go through planning, scheduling, and controlling. Planning involves goal settings, defining the project, team organization. Scheduling pertains to making the plan in order, okay, by gathering people, money, supplies, or making it ready. Then controlling is monitoring the plan, okay, monitoring the execution of the plan. So these are the activities that you do under those three steps whenever you're doing a project. So in planning, you establish your objectives, you build your resources, you identify work breakdown schedules, you identify the organizations that's going to work. Okay? For scheduling, you do project activities, you analyze project activities, or you itemize project activities, identify start and end times, and do network. And then for controlling, you monitor, compare, revise, and do action if ever the plan's not being followed. Okay? So project planning and scheduling and controlling. So for planning the project, so these are what you are doing. For scheduling the project, this is what we are doing. And for controlling the project, this is what we are doing. So all of the phases actually has all of these phases actually undergoes through rigorous preparation of material of documentations. Okay, So say for example, for planning, you have to prepare for time and cost estimates, budgets, engineering diagrams. For scheduling, you have to prepare CPM, PERT, Gantt charts, milestone charts, cash flow. And for controlling, you have budget, delayed activities reports, slack activities report. So for project planning, you again do establish objectives, define project, create work breakdown schedule, determine resources, and form the organization. So, the organization is actually normally temporary. Kaya nga may tinatawag na project when you say project in the normal language of work, it's somewhat contractual. So, meaning it is established for the purpose of completing a certain activity. So, project organization works best when work is defined with a specific goal and deadline. You won't have to deal with ito lang po kasi yung kinaya ganyan. So, automatically, when you have schedule, when you have goals, it can directly be seen by the organization. The job is unique or somewhat unfamiliar to the existing organization. So in that way, everyone would participate. It's not a routine, so everyone would be participative. The work contains complex interrelated tasks requiring specialized skills. The project is temporary but critical to the organization. Of course, everyone wants to do something that is significant. And then the project cuts across organizational line. So sample of project organization. So hopefully, that's why the projects can be multifaceted, meaning it can be joined by multi-disciplinary members, so that it can grasp the different ideas of different departments. Role of project manager is to ensure that all activities are finished in order and on time, and the project comes in within the budget. So if it's out of the budget, of course, you would have to pay an explanation to your boss. Okay, the project meets goals, and the people assigned to the project receive motivation, direction, and information. So therefore, in summary, project managers must be good coaches, communicators, and able to organize activities from a variety of disciplines. Some ethical issues for project management. So normally, project managers face so much pressure in terms of supplier dealings. Okay, so most often they are actually given gifts in return of getting services. Okay? So, there's an ethical code with that. So, please check the specific goals. But normally, you cannot accept anything beyond $1. Okay? That's the rule. Then, pressure to alter status reports, to mask delays, false reports for charges at time, pressure to compromise quality and standards. So work breakdown schedule, it helps if you would be breaking down your project so that it can be managed microscopically rather than macroscopically. Okay? So you can break it down from your major project and then identify the major tasks of the project and then identify the subtasks and the activities under the subtask. Okay? So project scheduling techniques ensure that all activities are planned for. Order of performance is accounted for, meaning we know what's next and what is from where. Activity time estimates are recorded, the overall project time is developed. Purpose of project scheduling shows the relationship of each activity to others and to the whole project, identifies the precedence relationship, encourage setting of realistic time rather than intelligent guesses, okay, or estimates, that helps make better use of people, money, material, and resources. So in project management, you can use these techniques in order to for you to succeed in managing your projects. You can do a Gantt chart, CPM, or a PRT or PERT. So this is a sample of a simple Gantt chart. Okay, so but normally when we as IEs when we do Gantt chart, it is 2 columns per activity. So one must be the planned and the other must be the actual. So therefore, in your Gantt chart, it is required that you are updating it every now and then, okay, if the activity is on track or not. So sample for service for a Delta jet. So these are the activities. These are the timeline. Okay. Project controlling. Close monitoring of resources, cost, quality, budgets. So feedback enables revising the project plan and the shift resources. So there are many project management softwares that you can use for controlling your project. So you can use that. Okay. Project control reports. These contains detailed cost breakdowns for each task, total program labor curves, cost distribution tables, etc. Okay, so these are what your project control. Okay, so PERT CPM actually considers precedence relationships in such a way that, which is good because it actually analyzes the actual activities. So in reality, the activities are really connected naman. So PERT CPM captures that and each uses a different estimate of the activity types. So these are the steps in conducting PERT CPM. Don't worry, we won't be doing the actual solution on this session. So we have define the project and prepare the work, breakdown schedule, or the activities, then develop the relationships among the activities or whichever is coming first or whichever is coming to the last, ganyan. Draw the network connecting all activities, then assign time and cost estimates and compute for the longest time path through critical path analysis and use the network to help plan, schedule, and monitor and control the plan. So these are the questions that can be answered by PERT CPM. Say, for example, how long will it take for your project to be completed? Critical activities, non-critical activities, schedule tracking, money, resource availability, and so on. Okay? So in doing PERT CPM, we have two ways. So you can actually do it AOA or AOM. So AOA stands for activity on arrow, like this one. So the only difference is that the activity is being credited on the arrows. Okay? This one is activity on node, meaning the activity is credited every node. Okay? So though normally we are using activity on nodes during solving for per TPM. So other samples, these are the meanings of those. So in case you're not given the network, you're the one who's going to do the network. Okay, so you might be using the descriptors as that. Okay, so this is an example. So this is Milwaukee paper manufacturing activities and predecessors. So first activity is build internal components. Second is modify roof and floor. Third is construct collection stack, which comes after A. Then pour concrete and install frame, which comes after A and B. Okay, and build high temperature burner, which comes after C, as well as F comes after C, and G comes after D and E, and H comes after F and G, or activity F and activity G. Okay? So you can build AON or AOA through that. Okay? So this is an AON. This is based on the predecessors that is stated here. Okay? So this is AON and this is AOA. So they are the same. The activities are the same. The only difference is that the activities are credited in the arrow. That's why it's called activity on arrow. Okay, so determining the project schedule. So perform a critical path analysis. The critical path is the longest path through the network. The critical path is the shortest time with which the project can be completed. So ito rin yung path na hindi pwedeng ma-delay. Okay, so that's critical path. So by nature, the critical path have no slack time or zero slack time. Example, yung problem natin kanina, may predecessors, tapos nilagyan na rin niya ng time. Okay? So, activity A takes 2 weeks, activity B takes 3 weeks, activity 3 takes 2 weeks to complete, and so on. Okay? So, perform critical path analysis. You must have earliest start, earliest finish, latest start, and latest finish. Earliest start is the time that the project can start the earliest, okay, assuming all the predecessors. Earliest finish, yung earliest time at which any activity can be finished. Tapos yung isa naman, latest time, latest start, latest time, o yung parang pwede pang malate up to this time, okay? And then latest finish naman, ito yung latest time na pwede pang mag-finish yung project. Na hindi siya madidelay. Okay? So normally, kaya sabi ko sa inyo kanina, when doing per CPM, we are doing it in the activity on node format because of this. Okay? So, normally, in a circle, we divide it into 5. Okay? So, with ES and LS on the left side and EF, LF on the right side. So, this is the activity duration and the activity name. So, forward pass. So, begin, starting, event, and work forward. So, forward pass, we would be able to get all the ES and EF. Okay? So, if in case lang naman na yung ES nyo ay dalawa, you would get the maximum EF. So, normally, your ES would be equal to the predecessor o yung time earliest finish ng pinanggalingan niya. But, if in case dalawa po, you would follow, for forward pass, you would follow maximum of EF of all predecessors. So, sample yung kanina. So, ito, si activity A. Since galing siya kay start, 0 ang ES niya. And then, plus 2, which is the processing time. So, therefore, ang EF niya ay 2. Si B naman, galing din to kay 0. Galing kay 0. Tama. Galing kay start. Start. So, 0 ang kanyang processing time. 0 kasi yung EF ni start. So, 0 plus 3, 3. So, that's B. Okay, tas si C, galing kay A, kaya 2 yung ES niya, plus 2. So, kaya 4 yung kanyang EF. So naman, this is the case. Dalawa yung pinanggalingan ni D. Galing siya kay A at saka kay B. Dun sa problem. May predecessor siyang A at saka B. So, ang sabi daw sa forward pass, you would choose the maximum. So, maximum is 3. So, therefore, yung 3 yung ilalagay mo sa ES. Okay? And then, 3 plus 4 ay 7. And so, it goes. So, that's the forward pass. Of course, hindi pa kumpleto. Meron pa tayong latest start, latest finish, which will be obtained by the backward pass. So, backward pass naman, same thing lang. Yung last start naman, pabalik naman yung itsura. Last start ng kabila, nung pinanggalingan niya, yun yung magiging earliest start mo. Ganyan. Okay? Ay, latest start mo. So, for this naman, if in case merong dalawa, minimum po. Kung sa forward, maximum. Sa backward, minimum. Sample, this one. So, pabalik po ang backward pass. So, you would be starting at the end. Okay? So, that's 15 minus 2, 13. 13 would be the LF of this activity kasi yun lang yung pinanggalingan niya. Ito rin, 13 din to. Okay? So, 13 minus 3 ay 10. Tapos, 13 minus 5 ay 8. Okay? So, ito naman, ang case, kapag po dalawa yung pinanggalingan, ang galing kasi siya kay F at saka kay E. Pabalik, guys, ha? Ang galing kay F at E. So, minimum of 10 at saka 4. Okay, so therefore, ang pipiliin mo ay si 4, kaya 4 yung nilagay niya dito. So, 4 minus 2, 2, and so on. So, computing for the slack time. As stated a while ago, the critical path has no slack time. Okay? So, slack time is actually equal to LS minus ES or LF minus EF. Kahit isa lang, kahit hindi naman po pareha. Isa naman po ng sagot yun. Okay? So, halimbawa dito, ang pinang-minus niya ay LS minus ES. Okay? LS minus ES ay 0 minus 0, 0 minus 1, 1, 2 minus 2, 0, 3 minus 4, 1, etc. Okay? So, in here, you would identify the critical path. If the slack is 0, it is on critical path. Okay? So, therefore, ang critical path nyo ay A, C, E, G, H. Okay? So, ito yun. Itong highlighted. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung mga project na yan, yung mga never na pwedeng malate. Okay? While si F, pwede pa siyang ma-delay pwede pa siyang mag-start hanggang 10th week. Okay? Si D, pwede pang mag-start ng 4th week. Pero yung target mo, 3rd week. Pero pwede pang mag-start ng 4th week. Okay? Si B, pwede pang mag-start ng 1st week. Pwede hindi agad-agad mag-start kasi wala siya sa critical time. Okay? So, that's how we interpret your PERT CPM. So, as a result, you can do your Gantt chart. So, normally, ang pinipresent natin sa mga boss natin ay yung mga ESEF, okay, na schedule. Okay? Kasi, pag ang pinresent mo ay ito, wala ka ng allowance. Okay? So, para may backup plan ka, ito, hindi siya pinipresent. Ang pinipresent as Gantt chart ay yung ESEF. So, that ends our section 1. Okay? For questions and clarifications, you can go to your forum. Thank you so much.